this is my everyday carry. As someone who really values reducing distractions and productivity, I'm really intentional about the things that I carry around every day. And one thing that I do that might be a little bit unusual is that I don't always bring my phone when I go out. So first, I want to show you my everyday carry when I do bring my phone. And at the end, I'll share with you a few other alternatives that I bring around instead of my phone. The first item is my smartwatch. This is the Garmin Instinct 2, which is a fitness tracking smartwatch with an e-ink-like display. For all of last year, I used an Apple Watch primarily because of the cellular features and how I could really use that as a productivity dumb phone. But right now, because I'm in Asia visiting family, my cellular Apple Watch doesn't really work. So I've been testing this Garmin watch that my friend gave me. I've been using this watch for about a month straight, and I even ran my marathon with it. As a longtime Apple Watch user, I was pretty hesitant to try anything else, even for a short period of time. But I've been pretty surprised with the features of the Garmin, especially for tracking running. This reminds me a lot of the G-Shock that I used for about 4 years, and also of the Pebble Watch, which was my first smartwatch. The battery life on this is pretty insane compared to my Apple Watch. On one charge, it can last several weeks. And if I turn on battery saver, it can actually last over a month. It has a heart rate tracker, a sleep tracker, a steps counter, and you can even install some custom apps onto the device. Compared to my Apple Watch, I do think that this design and form factor is a lot more minimal and less distracting. But the Apple Watch is really a lot more powerful because you can bring it instead of your phone and still be able to make calls and respond to messages. So while this device is part of my everyday carry right now, I don't think I'll be completely replacing the Apple Watch with it. The second item that I bring around is my iPhone mini. A lot of people might say, why not use an actual dumb phone if you're trying to optimize for screen time? But in the modern world, it's really getting increasingly difficult to operate without a smartphone. Like just being in Thailand for the last couple of weeks, I went to a concert that required a QR code. Many restaurants require that I order through my phone. And even at the airport, they wanted me to fill out my arrival card with a QR code link. This may look like any other smartphone, but I've really set it up in a way that helps me reduce distractions. I only have the most essential apps that I use. I have notifications turned off for most applications, and I try to only keep my most essential apps on there. So the primary use case for my phone is getting directions and contacting people. But I also do read books and review Anki cars on my phone. Because I use the iPhone mini, the small size is really beneficial for how I like to use my phone. It makes it really difficult to do things like watch different videos or use social media. So it's really helped me see my phone as a utility device. They only made this phone for 2 years before they discontinued it because apparently not many people bought it. But I think this is really the perfect form factor that helps me reduce distractions. One more thing I like about it is that the MagSafe accessories really fit perfectly with the iPhone mini, so it's really satisfying. The third item is my pocket notebook. So this is a pocket notebook by the company Field Notes, and I like to carry this around because sometimes I like to write things down or even just doodle in them. I have two journals, one I use for tracking my life and also this smaller pocket one. If you're interested in how I use my journals, then you can check out the video that I made. But most of the time, if I'm outside, I'll bring this journal around. For many years in high school and college, I brought around these Field Notes pocket journals that were really thin. But after discovering this spiral pocket notebook that they make, I think this is really the best one for a couple of reasons. The first is the hardcover. So a lot of times when I'm going out, I don't actually have a hard surface to write on. And it's really nice that there's a hardcover so I can write on it directly. I usually put this in my back pocket and I even sit on it a lot. And it seems to hold up pretty well. The second reason is the spiral. So I found this pen that fits perfectly into the spiral of this notebook. And it's made carrying around a pocket journal a lot more easy. When I carry around a normal pocket notebook, I also had to carry around a pen, which I would often forget or even lose. The third reason I like this notebook is because it lays flat. So because this pocket notebook lays flat, it's really nice if you want to put it on your desk, if you have a list of to-dos or you just want to have a place to jot things down. The fourth reason is because this notebook has two layouts. So on the front, it has a line layout, and on the back, it has a grid layout. So this also makes it really easy to organize your pocket notebook because you can have lists on one side and on the other, you could have diagrams or doodles. And the fifth reason why I think this is the best pocket notebook is because it's really easy to rip out pages for things like shopping lists, phone numbers, or reminders to put anywhere. The next item is my wallet, which is this zipper wallet by Bellroy. Really, I would prefer having no wallet and being able to do everything from my phone or smartwatch. But there's been a lot of times where it's pretty inconvenient for me to not have any cash. So I still have to carry around a wallet. So I made two customizations to this wallet. The first is I changed the zipper to this orange paracord so it's easy to spot. And the second is I put my name on my wallet. I like using a wallet with a zipper because a lot of times I'll toss it in a backpack or in my hoodie. And so it prevents any cards or cash from falling out. I can even put a couple of coins and even my key in here without worrying that things will go missing. This form factor is also nice because for transit cards, I can just tap it instead of taking it out of my wallet. In my wallet, I have a modified AirTag that is in a 3D printed case. I got this one off Etsy where somebody customized it already. Compared to using some smart Find My cards that they sell, I think it's a little bit more seamless with the AirTag because you get precision finding, and I think you get a bigger network if it goes missing. The next item are earplugs. So I've been carrying out earplugs for years now, and it's come in handy so many times. There are two reasons why I carry around earplugs, and the first is that it helps reduce distractions. If you think about it, your hearing is one of your only senses that you can't control and turn off. So sometimes if you're outside and trying to focus and there's a really distracting song playing or sound, it helps a lot to have a way to block out those distractions. And you can really do that with AirPods as well, but it's just that I usually have earplugs in my keychain. The second reason why I carry around earplugs is because protecting your hearing is super underrated. In college, I really overlooked this, where I would go to super loud venues or jam out in a band without any sort of hearing protection. But over time, I learned how important your hearing is and how once you lose your hearing, it doesn't come back. I've seen this happen to people around me, so I've really made an effort to protect my hearing for the long run. These earplugs have come in handy so many times when I'm at a restaurant that's too loud, if I'm at a concert, or even sometimes in the subway station. The next item is my dedicated fitness tracker, the Whoop. In the future, I'm planning on making a video about the different fitness trackers that I've tried and which one might be the best one for you. But for me right now, the Whoop makes the most sense. The reason why is because the Whoop provides really in-depth analytics about how different parts of your routine affects different parts of your training and recovery. And this has really come in handy over the past year when I trained for 2 marathons. It's designed to be worn continuously without ever taking it off. So even when you charge it, you don't have to take it off. Compared to a smartwatch with fitness tracking features, this is a lot more compact and minimal because it has no display. So a lot of times I'll forget that I'm even wearing it. All right, so now I want to share a few alternatives to bring around my phone when I want to reduce distractions even more. Of course, a lot of times I'll just not bring anything at all, but here are 3 alternatives that are single-use devices that help replace my phone. The first is a film camera. Growing up, I used to look at photo albums from my parents and my grandparents, and it was super cool to see how they lived their lives and what the world was like during that period of time. So I've always wanted to do something similar, to not only have photo albums so that I can reflect on it myself, but also to pass down to future generations. If you're a channel member, then you've already heard me talk about this before, but about 2 years ago, I got into film photography, and it's been super fun to take photos on this instead of using my phone. The whole process of taking photos, waiting, getting them developed, and then organizing them into albums is something I've come to appreciate versus being able to take 20 different photos of the same thing on my phone. I feel like it makes me see the world differently and try to look for creative shots. And because I'm only limited to 30 shots per roll, it also forces me to be super intentional about the photos that I do take. I think there's a practice that's slowly getting lost because we don't really develop photos, and we're really used to just taking photos on our phone and keeping it there. So this is one of my favorite things to bring out instead of my phone if I'm going out. The second item is the boox palma. So if you've seen videos on the channel, then you've already seen this device before, but this is basically just an e-reader in the form factor of a phone. I do have books on my iPhone mini, and I do read books on my iPhone if I'm on the go. But if I don't want to bring my phone around, this is a nice alternative to have. Unlike my phone, it doesn't have a SIM card, so it's not connected to the internet, and I can't really do anything except review Anki cards or read books. Because it runs on Android, you can install any other essential apps that you might need. For me, I just have books, Anki, and Obsidian. I still really appreciate paper books, and I do read those when I can, but with an e-reader, it's a lot more convenient, it's way cheaper than buying physical books, and you can look anything up instantly. If you study another language like me, it's also nice because you can look up words that you don't know. The third alternative to my phone is the iPod Nano. So this is a device I've come to appreciate a lot, not just because of how focused it is, but also because of how beautiful the design is. Lately, I've gotten into the habit of working out and running without listening to music, but when I do listen to music, I prefer using this over my phone because there are no distractions. There's no feed, there's no subscription, and there are no notifications. All the content is downloaded locally, and you can sync music, podcasts, and audiobooks. The battery also lasts super long, and I only have to charge it once in a while. I'm going to be making a video about my mobile workstation, especially because I'm working in Asia for a couple of months, but you can check out the video that I made about my productivity workstation at home right here. I'll see you over there. Let's get it.